In this video, we'll make this inventory management system in Excel where you can track your current inventory, what you need to reorder, and when the estimated arrival date will be. Then, if we navigate to the vendor sheet, you'll find all your product and vendor information in case you need to contact them about any problems. Finally, in the order summary sheet, this table will auto-populate depending on your inventory levels, and you'll know exactly what to order, how much it's going to cost, and who to order it from. All you need to make this automated, customizable, and user-friendly Excel file are 4 simple steps. So let's get into it. The first step is the vendor information sheet. So let's take a look at the Excel file, and over here you can see I have some data laid out. Let's suppose that we're a bookstore and these are all of our publishers that we have right here as our vendors. We also have some data on the typical order time, so how long they typically take in days, the reorder amount, so usually when we reorder, how much quantity do we reorder for each of these books, and their contact details. I filled this in already, so you don't have to waste your time, and if you want to download this file completely for free, head over to a link in the description below. To analyze this data better, what we'll do is just convert it into a table by pressing Ctrl T and then clicking on OK. Now we're ready for step 2, which is going to be in the inventory sheet. So let's go over there, this other sheet right here, and here's where we'll be able to track our live inventory, so what's currently in our bookstore. You can see up top we have a few KPIs like the inventory value, the unique products we're selling, the current date and the day of the week, and then down below we have some details. These are products that we currently have in store. We need to find out what the product name is, as well as some other information. Let's go ahead and fill this in. Like before, the first thing we'll do is convert this into a table by pressing Ctrl T. It's gonna select the entire table, that's good by us, and click on OK. Now for the product here, we're just gonna do a simple lookup. So we'll go equals X lookup is the formula we'll use. And we're looking for this number 101, this product ID, comma, and we can find it within the list of our vendors that we've just seen, within this whole list over here, comma. And then what do we want as the return array? So what do we want as the answer? We want to find what the product name is. So we'll select that from the column right next to it. Close the parenthesis and hit enter. Now you can see we get the corresponding products for each of these IDs. We have the quantity in stock, the price per unit, and the sale price. All of these have been added manually except this last one. Here we just assumed we're selling it at 3 times the cost for us. For this price per unit, to avoid confusion, we can change this to a cost per unit. So this is the price we bought it at and this is our sale price. The total value is pretty simple, it's just the sale price per unit multiplied by the quantity in stock. Hit enter there, all of this fills in because we're using a table, and now we know how to do this first KPI, which is just the sum of all of our total value right here, all of these transactions, and hit enter. Then for the unique products down below here, we want to use some kind of a count, so you could just use a count formula and select all of these products here. The problem is these are not necessarily unique. If I order the same product twice, like 101 twice, you'll notice here it doesn't actually change. So instead, what we'll do is add a unique function inside as well. We'll put the unique in here, and then just close the parenthesis at the very end and hit enter. So now if I put 101 twice, you'll see the unique products goes down by 1. That's looking a lot better. Ideally, we would also like to know if we need to reorder a certain item. And for that, we have this reorder threshold. If these arrows are bothering you a bit, you can go to table design and untick on filter button to get rid of them. So based on this reorder threshold, if our quantity in stock is equals to or lower than this 4 here, that means that we should reorder. So we want to say yes or no. For that, we can use a simple if statement. And the logical test says that this figure over here, if it's less than or equals to the reorder threshold, then we want to put a yes, meaning that we need to reorder, comma. If not, we're just gonna put a no. Both of these should be in quotations as they are text. We can close up parenthesis and hit enter. You can see there it automatically fills down. This one right here, we have a reorder threshold of 6, but because we already have 12 of these books in stock, we don't need to reorder. That's looking good, and to highlight the yeses a bit better, we can use a conditional formatting. For this, we'll head over to the Home tab, and under Conditional Formatting here, highlight Cell Rules, and we'll go to Text that contains. Here we want to put the yes, and you can see there if it contains the yes, it's gonna fill it in red. We're happy with that, so we're just gonna click on OK. After we get all of this data set up, if you want to convert it into visuals, an excellent way to do that is using chart templates like the ones HubSpot is kindly providing us. By clicking the link in the description, you can access a variety of Excel chart templates completely for free. The download includes an Excel file with instructions on how to use the templates, along with a range of chart types to visualize your data. You can easily modify the data within these templates and the charts will automatically update. These templates can accommodate one column of data or multiple columns depending on your needs. I personally find these templates most useful for deciding which chart type goes best with my data, as it's quite uncommon to see so many chart types at once. So I recommend clicking on the link in the description below to download these completely free chart templates from HubSpot to level up your Excel skills. And thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Continuing with the inventory sheet, we now have the ETA, which is the estimated time of arrival. So as we said in this vendor sheet, you can see we have the typical order timeline. So this is all in days. And first, we're gonna need to calculate the current day. For that, we can just use the today function, close up parenthesis and hit enter. Now, when I open this tomorrow, the date is going to update, so it's fully dynamic. Alongside that, for the day of the week, maybe this is useful, so we'll add it as well with the text function. This is the value, and what we just want is to put in quotations the D 4 times. This is gonna show the actual weekday, so Monday, Tuesday, etc. Now we can get ready for the ETA here, and we only really want it if the reorder says yes, then we wanna know when exactly it would arrive. So we're gonna use an if statement first. The logical test just says that if this reorder here is equals to, in quotations, a yes, close the quotations, comma, then the value if true, that's where we want to do the calculation, and it's going to be the current date plus however many days it takes to order this particular product, and we can calculate that with an XLOOKUP inside here. Hit the tab key and the lookup value is by ID. So we know we want this exact product, comma, and where can we find it as the lookup array? Well, we can find it within this list right here, Control Shift down arrow, comma, and for the return array, what's the answer we want? We want the order timeline, so we'll select that from here under column F. Close up parenthesis and hit enter. It says here we're missing a part, so let's go back inside, and now we've done the value if true, comma, but we haven't quite done the value if false. So what if it's not the case and it says no under reorder? Then we just want to leave it empty with two quotations. We can close up parenthesis and hit enter. You can see here we have these dates. They're not well formatted though. So I'm just going to select them all and just go to Control 1. Within here, I'm going to go to the date area and select a sample date. This first one works for me and click on OK. So you can see that this product, if we order today, it's gonna come in 7 days. And you can see all of these other ones, but they're actually not looking very good. And the reason is this F5 here, we haven't locked into the F4 position. So we should go back inside of this formula and make sure this F4 is locked. So it's fixed with the dollar signs like so. You just wanna add dollars in front of both the F and the 4 there. Now you can see when we hit enter there, it drags down automatically and all of these dates seem to make a lot more sense. So now that we know which products we want to order and who to order them from, we can head over to the order summary sheet over here where we would like this to be auto-populated. The idea is that based on the inventory and it saying yes to the reorder here, we should just see the order summary on this side automatically. To automate this process, we'll use a few different formulas, and the first one to find the product ID and the product is to use the filter function. Hit the tab key here, and for the array, we'll navigate over to the inventory area. The array is basically what you want as the answers, so we actually want the product ID part and the product. We'll select these two columns, comma, and for the include is essentially the criteria or the condition. we only want to include if this reorder part right here is equals to, in quotations, a yes. We'll close those quotations, close that parenthesis, and hit enter. You can see here we're only getting the products that have yes under the reorder. Then for the quantity is how many do we want to order. And for that, if you'll recall, it's under the vendor info tab. So we'll use an XLOOKUP to match it based on the ID here, comma. And for the lookup array, we can find it within our list of vendor information, comma. And for the return array, here's the reorder amount. That's the column that we want to select, comma. And finally, for the if not found, we'll just leave it empty by adding two quotations, close the parenthesis and hit enter. And now you can drag this down kind of as far as you want. These other areas will automatically show, and so will this as long as the formula is still in there. Then we've got the total cost, which is going to be the multiplication of the quantity by the cost per unit. So for this, it's equals to the quantity multiplied by the cost per unit, which we're going to need to find with an XLOOKUP. Lookup value, again, this is the product ID, comma, and we can find that product within the inventory sheet. We can find that here as the product ID, the corresponding product, comma, and we can find the return. So what's the answer we want? We want the cost per unit, which is this column right here. We'll select that, we'll close a parenthesis and hit enter. That's the first one, but you'll notice if we drag this all the way down towards the bottom, we get all of these value errors. That's because we're gonna need some kind of if not found, but that doesn't quite work as we have a calculation before the XLOOKUP. So what we'll do here is use an if error instead at the very beginning. We'll say if error, so if the value doesn't have an error, we just leave it as is, comma, but if there is an error, we just want to leave it empty. Add those quotations there, close the parenthesis and hit enter, and we can drag this all the way down as far as you think you'll need. Finally, the contact and the email, these are quite simple from our vendor info. So we'll go equals XLOOKUP there, hit the tab key, and the lookup value again is the product ID, comma. And where can we find this contact? We can find it in our list of vendors. We first need to match the corresponding ID here, comma. And the return array, we're gonna select two columns. So it's gonna be the contact name and email address both at once. We can do that just by selecting the two of them, Control Shift down arrow and Shift right, comma, and as the if not found, we'll just put quotations there to leave it empty. Close that parenthesis and hit enter. We have all of these contacts, and again, we can drag it all the way down. And for the total order, it's quite simple. We're just gonna use the sum function, and it's gonna be the sum of all of these total costs. Based on how we've set up all of these formulas, it should now show automatically. So if we head over to the inventory sheet here, let's suppose that we want to order a new product from our vendor info, like this number 118 that's not currently in here. I can put 118 there, it's going to show the product for us, and let's suppose that we currently have nothing in stock, but we know that the price is 4.99, and we know that we're going to sell it by 3 times the amount. And we have a minimum amount that we would need of, let's say, 2 of these products. Now we know we need to reorder it, and we know the estimated time of arrival. So if we head over to the order summary, it should now be showing there. We can click on that, and you can see down here that we have that product that's currently on our order summary, and you can see how much exactly we need to fulfill all of our requirements. Awesome, this is all coming together very well, and in this part 4 we're going to work on the navigation bar on the side. So we're gonna have something right over here, hit Ctrl Shift plus to add that extra column here, and we're simply gonna change the fill color to something like a dark blue. You can add a logo up top. In my case, I'm gonna add my company's logo just by going over here and clicking on this device as I have it currently in my computer. Let me quickly resize that, and then to navigate across all of these separate sheets, what we'll do is insert some shapes, and we're gonna hyperlink those shapes. So we'll go over here, select a shape. Let's say I just put it roughly around here. I'm gonna go and call this one the inventory, and let me reformat it. So I'm gonna go to no fill, no outline, and I'm also gonna try to center this by putting it in the middle in both senses. Now we just want to duplicate this, so Control Shift and drag it down, Control Shift and drag it down. We want to rename these to the vendor and the order summary. But the idea is that when I click on it, I'm just gonna select it right here and I'm gonna press Control K. This is the hyperlink area. So when I click on that, I wanna go to the inventory sheet, click on OK there. And now let's suppose I'm coming right here, go to inventory, and it takes me to that inventory sheet. So you start to get the idea there. Let me fast forward how I do the same for these two buttons. Once we have all three of these hyperlinked, we can just copy that whole column with Control C and then paste it over here with Control Shift plus. You might need to resize the logo up top, so just basically move it around according to how you want it. And same thing down over here. Let me fast forward that. Once you finish the navigation bar, you should be able to move dynamically across all of your different sheets. And for this order summary sheet, if you want to be able to export this in one click as a PDF, what you can do is watch this video over here where I walk through how to go about that, or you can also check out our Excel course over here. Hit the like and the subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.